Bloop. Hello humans and players, Graffbot here. Mahalo for joining the stream. Welcome to my party, and in this vid, we are starting a new game. Before we do that, one last look at my old account through my eyes. On this account, my gamertag was Kato. Not too many people know how to spell it, much less say it. I wasn't too known and I had to try and change that. Players in this game all had unique names. My fault for not knowing how to spell. I took a loss. But we were here now, like on YouTube. Sweet. At first, I spawned into a randomly generated map and ended up on an island in the middle of the ocean in the remotest place ever. Not many active players. There was an update along with the imperialist nation that was slowly taking over the server. They created many spawn points for zombies and creepers, and it was pretty packed out here. Resources were already rare, and parts of the map were closed for development. And to any new players who are gonna try this, don't do this half-heartedly. This is a hardcore server like no other. Try not to die and have fun. My roles on the server were kind of like an assassin, but I did more of a tank role. I took a lot of damage for the team while I learned how to build different strategy. With the support from my friends over the years, our gameplay has been noticed around the map and led me into some crazy encounters that has been the best challenge I've ever had throughout my life. I hope you stay long enough to meet some of them. We were always on missions. We had unlocked many achievements and stacks of XP. Our DPS was so high, it was ridiculous. But you know, as things change, it all just comes to an end. In recent updates, they added an NFT patch, which nerfed my tank role and also benefited hackers and cheaters. Lots of old players I had fun with had left the Graph game, and others either went to new servers or just despawned. And always remember, in this hardcore server, when you die once, you're gone forever. So try and make it count. While I was looking over some old game footage, I wanted to feature some of my guild. I realized that over the years I have so many memories and I have many achievements and I've learned so much from so many different players, and a lot of them were pretty high accounts. I decided to just, make a Smurf account, just start over, but as a level 100 player behind the scenes. I created this Graffbot. I was definitely gonna miss my old life and all the memories I made on that card, but as the system updates, we have to update our strategies a little bit more because it's getting ridiculous out here. Like, this used to be good gameplay. We used to put in a lot of work and many hours grinding into these stats, but now with user manuals everywhere, yeah, games changed. No one ever really respected us back then anyways, but nowadays we were getting outshined by almost anyone with the iPad tool. It was crazy. But I came up with a plan. Life is like a game and I conquer most of the games I play. But really, as long as I got a little coin, I got out, had fun, and lived a healthy life, I was cool with that. And to all the players that played all these missions and played all these games with me, thank you for all the XP gains. I'm for sure gonna use them on something good for us all. I used to be so nervous all the time. I mean, look at this trash. You just call me Trashbot. I learned how to get over it by painting in the streets and at events, and over all the years I just got comfortable about being with people or alone. And in my last save, I used all that experience for this one moment. In almost every player profile, there is always that one mission, that one time where you clip it and it's just remembered forever. So enter in the top guild on the island, the legendary PC Gamers. The little series of missions this company had me do was awesome. Gave me so many XP boosts and, a little bit of coin. The jobs were pretty simple, but they also let me have a crafting table. I've never used supplies and tools like these. I never worked on my alchemy. I buy potions, I don't mix. So XP was low in this department, but I stayed up many nights grinding. After a while, I got all my coins together, spent it all one time to learn a new spell, and this one was a mesmerizing spell. It definitely changed the gameplay for my mage account. The special skill to this spell just allowed me to use some of my XP and put it into my speechcraft, and speechcraft was important for the account that we were trying to build because we needed to be able to get the missions accepted, and we needed to be a high level to be able to unlock some of these missions. So, we figured out a plan. We took as much as knowledge as we could with technology, and it wasn't much, and we figured out how to use virtual reality games as a way to showcase some of our work before anybody bought supplies, of course. But enter the final boss. So in this mission, me and my teammate Cass, we took half-half. He took one side, I took the other, and yeah, we killed it. For any noobs or new players out there, I hope you all find many moments like these without using too much Game Shark, because it's such a good feeling when you have some friends, some support, and you take all the little things you do over your time playing the game to create something this great. It's fucking awesome. To this day, I've watched this video hundreds of times. I still can't get over it. I love it. I don't even know how the hell we did this. I wish I had lifts like this all the time. I wish I had paint like this all the time, but not all of our clients are this supportive. To Guildmaster Devin of the Iron Chin clan and his guild, thank you. Following that mission, me and Cass had some funds and a game plan. So we took some of our top homies and we had some paint missions. We learned some techniques and some advice. Like, look at these overlays, so cool. We decided not to do any more free play missions because we did that in our last account, and we tried to go adventure into new parts of the map that we never discovered, and a lot of those areas were in schools and churches. But this is what I started doing, and this is what I'm doing now. I vowed that one day I would be able to stop cutting grass for people, because this is what I did for a living, and I knew you could make money with art. Let's start a new game. Welcome to the actual vid, 100 days of art. So as far as the mission, we had none. We just figured that we knew how to paint, and that was kind of working out, so we just had to paint more, like a lot more, and more consistently. So we set aside 100 days to just do art every day, and we figured with our new accounts and our prior knowledge to the game, that this new art game was gonna be pretty easy to tackle through, and boy were we wrong. So at first, we legit just painted our names. We were like, we don't know what to do, and we needed some guidance and protection, so we painted some homakuas of ours. In Hawaiian culture, that just means like guardian deity that watches over us. We would like to believe, or everyone would like to believe, that ours is always a shark. And in my city, that's our mascot, and oops, I missed the spot. So as I look for paint, I'm going to explain what's going on here. Me and Faye fired up the Smurf accounts, turn on some bots, put our settings to attack on everything, and the system settings themselves were on the fritz. With new admin takeovers, and they had put the restrictions on players and NPCs that disallowed movement in parts of the map, restricted the grand exchange more, making resources more rare. The rules got harder, the NPCs more violent by nature, and worst of all, there was a deadly virus that was released on the server, and anyone could get hit with it, NPC or player, hell, even animals. And based on RNG, you could probably die from it. So something that deadly being around the map just made things even more exciting. Fuck it, let's go, game on. And you're gonna find out that I like to challenge myself. The harder the challenge, the more fun it is. These villagers taught me a new technique on how to catch chickens. We made some trade, and I got me my own chicken eventually, and I started a farm. But before it got dark and the creepers came out, I ended up building a little base. I carved a hole in the wall and gathered some resources, put it all together, and made some crafting tables. I remember in my first trial of the graph games that one crafting table led me to do a lot of work. So I just had a plan to make multiple crafting tables. So anyway, you'll get the gist that if something works, we just do more of it. And if you're wondering why we're looking at oysters and not art, there was an in-game event and I got invited to party up with a bunch of local players. This was the guild master and he was teaching me how to do all kinds of pretty cool stuff with resources lying around my mount. He taught me some combustion spells that might come in handy for making some noise later. And this in-game event was kind of confusing. The server allowed fireworks to be everywhere, but if you were caught using them, you'd go to jail. And yeah, the server never made sense, but I'm used to it. Well, celebration's over, but Happy New Year, as the humans say. And I started mines off with a bang. And my favorite thing to do all the time is usually Pokemon, no cap. And since it was kind of raining outside, I used this opportunity to camp in my new base and test out some of my crafting tables. So obviously I'm trash in the beginning. I did not know, I was not prepared to do this, and to this day it's still not finished. As I record my voice, I'm looking at it and I have to go finish it, but I will soon, and we'll leave that for the next video. As you can see, I was hella distracted in the beginning. I was playing Pokemon Go and canvassing at the same time. I ended up giving up that whole thing. I was just like, nah, I ain't got time for games. So yeah, still raining. Ended up camping in the base again. Hung out with one of my best friends, the lo-fi girl. She's got me through so many art projects. And after that rough start with the Pokemon canvas, I decided I have to nip a lot of stuff in the bud, especially filming and figuring out angles. So I just took on a bigger canvas and I tried all kinds of different techniques. I used spray paint, acrylics, airbrush, even paint markers. I didn't even know that was a thing. But a lot of the stuff I learned in this session was mainly from people on live streams. You can see this phone everywhere with me. It never leaves my side. Those are my bots. And for all the people who sit there with me for hours and listen to my crazy rants on these live streams, thank you. Still raining, gotta fix my bed.
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them. Crises precipitate change.
What a crazy thing this looks like on this end. Let me switch over to the Twitch stream. So I used to do some light Twitch streaming. I get the gist. I'm just not good at content, and yeah, look at what I look like. I look like a fucking robot. And yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. Honestly, you can skip past this whole part because it's just me fucking around in VR. But let me explain. Unlimited paint, unlimited resources, all the time you could use, up to 6 hours. And I know it's 2022 and Sword Art Online did it better, but for the most part this is way better than AOL Messenger, and that's where I started. Tech like this and Discord is such good technology to have in this new day and age. I would consider that we are now in the digital age, and moving forward, if you do not have tech, man, you're gonna have issues. Look, I can't even use a ladder in VR. The system settings put a lot of firewalls in between us, and rules, laws, and taxes of the land are pretty brutal. Players like us love places like this to escape all the drama, the money chase, and just hang out with friends, listen to music, and just chill out. And obviously I'm by myself. Not too many people on my server can afford these things or know how to use it. Hell, they're so paranoid that this is gonna brainwash them. I don't blame them. It's pretty fun, but it doesn't make any money. Like, it is all just for fun, and if I was to stop playing games, I would have to stop having fun. And for all the people who invited me to go spray paint on VR with them, fuck all that shit. Call me up, spray paint in real life. So I'm using the app called King Spray. As you can see, I can swap through all my colors. There's so many different palettes to choose from. You can quick save color. There's so many perks. All these things you can't do in real life, which kind of doesn't help when you're in a situation when you have to do this in real life, like turning off drips. That's rubber. But anyway, look at this. I can drink in the game. Also, little fun things they hide around the place, things to look at, and there's even this replay function. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I don't actually have to set up a tripod because now I am the tripod, and look at that little pig character. Hell, this isn't even a real game, it's just a wall simulator. But for artists like us, we don't actually touch our canvases, we just spray from a distance and speed, but no one cares about that. Poured out a drink for the homies and found this football. Now this is a accurate representation of how far I can throw in real life. Boom. And now watch me reach a high score. Look at this form. Beautiful. I'm not too sure what this is. I still don't know what it's called. Yeah. Look at me in real life, really trying. I ended up getting frustrated and just tossing it to the side. I was like, fuck this thing. And probably the thing I needed at the start of this video film was a stencil, and look, there was one this whole time. Sat back and just enjoyed the last of the recording. Watched myself toss up my crews, all the boys, and looked up to the future. Shout out to the homie for all the help doing this. You're gonna meet him in a bit as I show you how I'm trash at technology. So, first day of the year that it wasn't raining, and I went out to a little secret spot. It was January 3rd, and I wanted to get a one-up on everyone else. I knew it was raining a lot, so I knew, like, look at all this mud. But I knew that no one else was gonna be able to get out as fast as I am, especially if I woke up early. And yeah, that's what I did. I went out, found a little secret place, and set up to spray my name. I think this would have been one of the last times I sprayed my name. But anyway, it had to be done. For people who played the graph games like me so long, it's imperative that you get your first piece up as soon as possible. It helps with the motivation. And as you can see, in the early days, I really am lost. I'm just walking around, looking at stuff, trying to figure out where my direction was going, checking out some spots. So I have to be aware of the weather because look at all that water. It was probably raining in a mountain somewhere, so just in case I put an umbrella over my phone. And to those who know me, my phones are like my imaginary friends. They never let me down. I take them everywhere with me. And then these chickens, one of them had to come home with me. But before any of that, ended up posting something on my Instagram. The link is in the bio. It was just a little teaser to let people know I was gonna do some art, but I ended up like not showing them me doing any art, which is like the first time I didn't show them everything. I usually give my followers, friends, like visuals on everything. I'll time lapse, do a little music video, but first time of me not sharing something, I was just like, wow, I could get used to this. Less posts, less messages, could move faster. Let's go. And if you haven't noticed by now, I time lapse everything because we're trying to speed run out this 100 days and try and get as far ahead as everyone else as we can. First off, we always gotta do a little spot maintenance. So, yeah, I don't know why I was doing my A upside down, by the way. It was such a trip. And as you can see, usually when the server has these weather conditions for a long time, parts of the map get limited mobility and players can't grind XP as well. So I love this part of the map myself. Not too many players knew how to access it, which was great. More resources for me. And there was a safe zone nearby because there was a shrine built up top, and the water and the shrine helped to keep creepers and imperialists away. So this shrine was dedicated to a Buddhist monk, and we call this part of the map the Tree of Life. A lot of the NPCs in the area use this to clear their memory and also get XP gains onto prayer. While I was here, I read a quote. It goes, "When I despair, I remember that all throughout history, the way of truth and love has always won. There have been tyrants and player killers, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end they always fall. Think of it always. In a gentle way, you can shake the world." The next day, I fired up the VR again, and that was going well, until while on my VR stream I ended up failing so hard and realized I should stop playing games, stop chilling, and get back on the grind. Me and the guild, we decided that this was not gonna be a part of the agenda for a little while. Me and the boys were on a mission, and for the moment in time, this was not a part of it. And though I like to have all this fancy technology at my disposal, I just didn't have enough coin IRL to be able to be doing this kind of stuff. I had to go make some money, and we knew this technology was good, but in my hands, I was trash. So after realizing that I was stuck in the floor and I couldn't get out of it, I decided to just get some outsource help. I called my friend Kevtar, and I was like, "Help." Anyway, introducing Kevtar. This player was my introduction to the PC Empire. He had accounts on all sorts of games, and I asked that he help us out to conquer our game. So I sent him some links, I updated his player profile, and due to my guild being broke boys, we could never grind enough coin for the cool gear, but with Kevin, we struck diamonds. Also, yeah, he's pretty boss at Guitar Hero. So check out this headshot. I don't even know what game this is. I mean, what? But enough of games. This stuff's too distracting. Look, we're in space now. So Kevin took my VR system and somehow made it that we had a drone now, and I take it. This one even had perks. I went back in time so I can show you guys my first spawn area in the map and well, observe. So back in my early days running around as a noob, the system admins were still under the imperialist rule. Back then there weren't too many opportunities for players. The imperialist nation kinda came into our map just like any other map and just tore it all up. They put bans on areas as they developed. The Grand Exchange ended up engulfing a lot of the local markets in the area. And with their iron fist, they pretty much took over the land, and hundreds of patches and millions of taxes imposed upon the NPCs and players later. We were pretty down. And at my young age, well, I did what most of us players do. We just waited it out, doing starter missions for NPCs, and things opened up very slowly. But by the time the game really started to get more interactive, watching things like AOL, PS1, and floppy disk to Discord, PC, and hard drives, I miss all the players that used to play this game. Times are good now. Well, better. Because the Imperialists are still around. Their empire is called Babylon. It's kind of like the evil empire of the world. They proxy themselves as a kind of world government, made up of the leaders of some of the worst guilds possible. And early on, it's always good to keep that stealth skill high, because Babylon is always watching. And though it's not the most popular class, I think the assassins got this one. So while Kevin tried to figure all of that stuff out for us, I ended up just going back in on the grind. Hit the gym, and in this training area, I fired up some of my bots and made them slave away for me. Good work, bots. You move those ladders. Yeah, pass me that paint. What's going on down there? Something tapped in on the bottom right. Bots don't listen to directions well, and
Yeah, the design was too high. I couldn't reach the top. I had to finish it later, but moving on. Check out this place. This place is a mess. These are the places that I get offered up for jobs. It's nuts, but you know what? I take anything as I go because I need stuff to paint. But I set up for a couple hours, and then as soon as I started painting, I got word that they wanted to build flooring. So, I finished what I could, packed up all the stuff that I had just laid out, and ended up putting in work because I wasn't going home. In this area of the map, creepers and imperialists are all over the place, and it's just not safe out there. So I stayed at this base overnight, and I painted a few things for them. So yeah, since this was day 12, I was having a hard time finding places to paint, and luckily one of my friends ran. He's a player, or OG player actually. In our server, he gets all the spots. Man's super cool. Anyways, something happened. I had my first sale of the year. I was tripping out. So in some of my old canvases, I used to install lights into them, and man, aren't these super fun? Like I was poking holes in the canvases, chopping up plexiglass. Anyway, that Gundam that you seen hanging on my wall in my early days of my studio, yeah, I'm gonna miss that thing. Use some of that coin to upgrade and get more bots, because phones are the best, and I needed more to film all the things that I wanted to. And I also made this little sticker wall. I take all my friend stickers that they give me, and I make a bunch of little places where I slap them up, and hopefully people follow the trend. Sometimes they work, sometimes the owners get pissed off at me. And a little backstory of this League of Waifus mural. Man, we were all over the place. Look at that bird. I love Kojak. But yeah, females, I'm kind of scared. Don't want to be disrespectful about it, especially with proportions. But chicks with guns, always cool. My new buddy here, Sick Dog, he agrees. So he loves the new decorations around his house, and he gave us signs of approval. My final walkthrough through this place and observations. Wow, look at all the homies that already started a sticker wall here. This company is super cool, and thank you for letting me and my friends have fun in your building. Ran Novik, you too, man. Thank you. The guy on that wall, yeah, Rabba. There's a bunch of other artists in the building. I can't wait to see what else they got going on here. Um, Me and Ran absolutely tore up this bottom section, and this is kind of where the lounge is. I'm just gonna let you guys take a look around. So yeah, back to Kojak. I love that bird so much. I ended up taking it home. Found out my dad used to have one just like it, and we ended up framing it, and now hangs up in my house. And if there's anything I learned from this one mission, it's just a little bit more about my dad. I love the guy. The guy always motivates me. Hell, I'm using his garage right now. He absolutely hated all the things I was doing to it, so I might as well have given him something out of it. The man has like almost no faith in me in the early days, but at least nowadays he's giving me a chance, and I'm gonna try and figure out ways to make us some money because he hasn't seen it yet. And hopefully, with a little video and some of my new followers follow and subscribe, we might actually make some money out of this. So I'm hopeful. I've never been able to pull it off before, other than the PC Gamers mural. So I'm just too damn nice and humble, and I have to crack down and learn how to be more aggressive. The guild agrees, and we all got together at countless sessions on live streams over and over and over. We were relentless. The XP gains I gained from these sessions were epic. And look, I made a t-shirt design. hopefully that's available soon come. So some of these guild meetings that we had on these live streams led to me to believe that in Hawaii you could literally make it by just painting turtles. It's so easy a child could do it. And since I knew that people didn't like my style of art, I knew for a fact they'd spend any price to get a good detailed turtle. So I started my mission, and on this one, I knew I needed to get some kind of exposure going for myself out there, but not too much because I didn't know what I was getting myself into or what I could actually handle. As I practiced, I just realized that if I'm gonna post anything, it's just gonna be underwater art because no one even cares about any of that other stuff. And since I started using social medias more, I got invited to paint at a lot of cool places. Like this is a indoor skate park that was being built for a little concert venue. It was pretty sick, but alas, this place had too much walls and I had no budget for it. I have to figure out a way to get more money so I can help people like this because, you know, it'd be fun. But yeah, since I was really low on funds, I ended up going back to the base and reviewing my situation with my crafting tables. I ended up trying to figure out more ways to get better content, and content is a resource that you mainly use just to gain coin. I don't know much about it, but as the project went on, I learned quite a lot. I get the gist. And by the way, that damn lobster took me like 7 hours, but you know what? This is one of the best pieces I've ever done on canvas, and I felt pretty confident. And over the next few days, I just decided to paint more turtles, get to know my live stream, learn more hints, and I got a lot actually. And you know, still to this day, I'm still learning. And screw that canvas. But one of my homies, she ended up coming over. She's a cool player from the townside guild, and yeah, we ended up trying to paint my bug. Hello. But before that, I learned how to clear coat, and man, did it make this canvas look so good. I was proud of myself. But yeah, moving forward, back to the bug. This one was fun. After a while, I just got addicted to holding that camera in my left hand. I like you guys to get up close and personal to whatever I'm doing. Plus, it's easier for me to read what's going on. My neck is so sore from all these live streams. I will figure out a way to do it a lot easier so that you guys can follow me throughout more of my projects as I go. And though it kind of seems slow at first, trust me, at the end of this project and where I'm looking at now, we have a lot of stuff to do. And I see no signs of slowing down at the moment. So stay tuned, please. Subscribe. Also on this day, I ended up making a TikTok. Me and the homies on a live stream were getting hit with a lot of the red flags for playing music, and we tried to figure out different ways to hang out on stream while playing music. And to the guy who stole my username Graffbot on TikTok, screw you. Follow the real Graffbot on TikTok. Follow in advance. So I went shopping at the market and found out some new fluid that is like liquid masking tape. It's amazing. I had to try it on this canvas, and this canvas was a story in itself. I probably had spent like 72 hours on it. I was evolving my studio just to fit it and learning all kinds of new things. I was filling this place up with like buckets and containers because I don't like to wash my paint down the drain. It affects our oceans. I just let it dry out in these containers outside. So all that mayonnaise I use on all my sandwiches, they come in handy. I made some upgrades in the base, and well, I was working on this for a while and it was coming out good. I was having fun. A lot of my stream liked what I was doing, but for me, I lost the passion for this. I'm just not gonna do pop culture art anymore, and that's a personal choice. I'm sorry. Normally I would call this a fail, but no. We actually gonna get some wins. We went back to the turtle theory. The missions weren't popping up as fast as we thought they were, and we had to somehow get that initiated. So I went around the map and got some resources. prep my area of the map for a new build, and we was here for I think 2 days. We entered in on Friday and we left on Sunday. It was such an epic feeling, but man, the fumes and the amount of work we did in this one hallway overnight, we didn't even want to go home. Again, the creepers came out at night and imperialists were everywhere, so it just wasn't safe to be out after a certain time. But luckily, we made it through and we got home. This felt like another milestone, but you know, it's just turtle art, and we were doing this mainly for promo, and it worked. But I was gonna cash in this redeem for some project later on down the line, and you'll see what I do at the end of this video. And you would think we would get a lot of coin for something like this, but this wasn't one of those missions. It was more of a donation. And since the Imperialists control what happens in these parts of the map, we try to tread lightly around here. And it wasn't even about the coin for us. We just kind of wanted to get a little bit more known, at the same time influencing the next generation of players, because this is where new players spawn all the time, and some are good, some are great. So those of you who have seen this clip on my Instagram, this is a good time for you to go take a break, come back, go get some popcorn. We just made it to the halfway point. And for all you new users in the lobby, as punishment for not following me, I command that you type something in the comments. Any thoughts, any questions, anything, just comment. Comment like 10 times. Do it. Comment to each other. We need it. Well, yeah, this project took a lot of days, and me and Fair, we needed a break, and enter the DFC guild. This is their leader. This is his studio, and this is some cool art we made on his roof. And his name is known all around our map for bringing the fucking vibes. So Chance King is a player that mains music on his account, and boy is it good. I've gone to a lot of shows from him for years now on our server, and he never disappoints on the mission. Me and Fifi ended up partying up with him so we can do an in-game event called Return of the Renegade. So this one was a Star Wars theme event, and man, it was pretty fun. So we pulled out some more plyboards out of the ground, and we went at it. Check out my little stencils. Man, I spent hours doing these things, but shit, it just makes it so that I can spray paint in minutes. We also tried some fluorescent spray colors, and you know, I didn't get much clips of this because I was caught up doing other projects simultaneously, but you know, it shined pretty cool at night. Somebody please send me a video if you were there. I couldn't stay at the event long. I got like one clip and then got an emergency call. I had to go fix someone's issues at a job site, and they had a hard time, but luckily I was able to bang almost everything out in like one day. But it's so easy. You know how many times I've painted stuff like that? But anyway, I was frustrated. A lot of stuff was going on. I still wasn't making too much coin, but I was staying up for days. But luckily, I have family. Meet player Alex. This is my niece. She's such a sweetheart. She comes to visit me to motivate me every so often, and she's always wondering what I'm up to in my studio as she tries to tear it up. And she heard about my plan, and she was not impressed. She was like, "Let me get in on this." So after recovering a little bit at home, I ended up still staying at home. We had to cut some coconut trees. If any of these things fell on someone's head, I would be kind of devastated, and it was necessary because Kevin was planning an in-game event. And yeah, I wasn't prepared for any of that at the moment, and it was even worse because I hit some fatigue after all this, all the painting and all that. So I just stayed still in my art studio, ended up getting whatever coin I had mustered up at the time, and upgraded for some new gear. Because you know, in the end, if you can't beat them, you join them. And one of my top enemies was the whole NFT movement. So me and my homies, my guild, we ended up firing up our iPads that we never used, and we started to work on some NFTs. So hopefully some of that fruitions into something, but as of right now, the market is not for that. So we are not focusing on that. Do not ask me in the comments if you're gonna do NFTs. Just know it is possible. We do have crypto. Come fuck with us. But in the meantime, it's still good to have around for any simple t-shirt designs or logo mock-ups for your friends. And look, this is how it came out. There was some stuff I had to touch up. The buttons weren't fully loaded. I was figuring it out, but enough of that. As I recovered a little bit more, I got back to work, and since I knew it took a long time to just prep the canvas before I painted, I ended up just prepping a lot of them at one time, and it actually did save a lot of time for me. But I had to clean up this whole area and my backyard for that event that Kevtar was throwing, and man, I still wasn't ready for all that. But at least I got a lot of work done, and that's what matters. And man, I make a mess. I must drive you people nuts. Anyway, after cleaning this up and looking over my ideas, I didn't have enough coin to continue a lot of these at the time, but I'll improvise. You'll see. So I took a interest into these smaller canvases, and at first I was doing big canvases, and that was kind of a pain in the butt. And I realized there's a whole market for these small things, so we're gonna give it a try. But before we do any of that, we have to enjoy a moment. It was finally time for Kevin's event, and man, it was pretty beautiful. I also painted this day, so peep on the bottom left. Yeah, that's me, boy. And I would have been down there. I was the best man, but I was in the shower and I got out right at the right moment, though. Timing is everything, and yeah, I think I got the best shot. I caught the best moment. All you guys with your cameras, rabba. And you know, I'm not so sentimental. I never got to say, congrats on this, guys. I hope you two have so much fun together. And fuck all you guys for throwing all that rubbish into my yard. You know how long? 4 days I spent cleaning this place, you bastards. So after spending 4 more days cleaning up after them, welcome Sam Sam. So this is my tortoise, and I love him to death. He just moved back home from another area he was staying in on the map, and I ended up building a pen for him, and oh man, many good times ahead. I love animals, if you haven't noticed by now, especially these ones. Yummy. And on this day, I did something I thought I'd never do. I ended up quitting my Pokemon Go account. I spent one last day, one last stream, all 24 hours of it, just playing the damn game. I had fun with all the players who stopped by. We caught so many shinies. As you can see, yeah, I'm totally hacking. I was like, yeah, screw it, let's go all out. Nobody even wants those. So skipping forward, I caught like 19 of these bad boys, and boy, it was fun. I even ended the event with the Gyarados, but moving on, we had to play the real game. I think this is the game we wanted to play. We wanted to play the game of art. And, you know, as far as the NFT movement, I figured if I can't beat them, join them. But before all that, I'm gonna need a little bit more hype, so I decided I'm not gonna do pop culture art. Pretty tired of doing turtle art, because that was just a little Instagram ploy to keep people interested in me. You know, we gotta act like we stay relevant. So I decided that I wanted to paint desserts for 2 reasons. One, I was very hungry and I really like all this stuff. I wish I could eat it every day. 2, I was too broke to afford it. I was actually losing weight like crazy. I spent all my money on paint, and I was painting so much that I actually just started like contracting like mental illnesses, and all kinds of stuff was going on with me. I was just excited all the time, and I didn't even know how to take it. My brain was firing off. I was learning all kinds of new techniques, new types of styles, and I was just like, you know what, I'm pretty good at world building, and I have a crazy imagination. Let's just give it a try. And there's this type of art called OCs, and of course I do a lot of letter art, but for a little while, just a little while, I'm gonna give that off and give this new style a chance. Maybe it might gain my XP higher. Who knows? I'm sure that it will probably unlock more places on the map that I can go to, but for the most part, I'm not showing a lot of the finished products of these canvases because I got something coming for you in the next video, and I have a lot of canvases to work on. And yeah, this is a thing. My PC is trash, and you know what? It did a great job over the years, but we're gonna have to make some sales to make some upgrades to that thing. Like, Kevin was over it. This thing probably broke down 100 times alone in the 100-day project, and you know what? He was just like, "Fuck it, over. We're gonna get past this." So the only way we're gonna get past it is if we just get more coins. So luckily, I got some funds coming through. Check out this OG. He contracted me to. Look, I'm so mean. I made him carry all that. The mission objective this day was a kind of weird request. So this was one of my dad's homies, and this is one of my new homies that hung out with me for a couple nights, and we had a blast. Gave him some bananas. This is such a happy little turtle. Oh look, him stuck. Anyway, back to work. On this property, I was supposed to paint a bathroom. Yes, a bathroom. And of course, I'm using the turtle theory. And I'm going to paint turtles all over this bathroom. For some reason, the owner wanted to take a poop underwater. And, you know, I wasn't going to knock it. I would like to do that too. I hope I get an invite to visit this place again. Or not. I don't know. I'm just so busy nowadays. But, so I needed some of that TikTok content. You know, this is what the turtles do. So this is what we did. We walked around, did a little overview of what I was gonna do, and I did the whole little teleport thing through time with my hand over my phone. Show you how these things work. Yep, get a good angle and just blip, blip, and yeah, boom, we just traveled through time. This is a mage spell that I use all the time now. It's great. But anyway, use this as a bathroom break. Go take a pause or do your thing. We're almost to the end, and it's gonna get better, trust. Bloop! When the sun rose, I fast traveled back to base. I needed to regain some hearts for an in-game event that was the next day. And you know, throughout this project, I got like no sleep. It's unhealthy, having insomnia, and I overdid it. Sorry everybody for making you worry throughout the project. I feel bad. I'll get more sleep if you subscribe. I'm glad I got to have a base to come back to, and all my little farm aminos to help give me my health back. Some things are happening around the house that I wasn't aware of. My farm just kept growing and growing. Look at this. Where did this one come from? Anyways, she was leading me across the street to a new little batch of little chiclets she had, and I didn't want them to get runded over, so I had to cross the street, and you know, this became a routine until they were brave enough to cross it on their own. And at this point, I had so much chickens outside my base as I recorded my voice, but you know, they were well fed, and that means I would be well fed if anything ever went down. Roar, chickens, roar. Later that night, I sat at the crafting table, and since my storage boxes were all full, I decided to use up some supplies. This build was made for my Discord icon. I drop random links to get in, and as I develop better comms with my guild, I'll be sure to update anyone on what's going on through apps as such. Of course, anytime I paint a car or a vehicle, it's my dad's idea. I don't even know how to change oil. I'm all electric, but I had some cool things I wanted to try. I had some daily doses of art techniques that I was sure to have Alex try out. This series of canvases was thought of by me and a few of my friends on live streams like Caswan and Botello, and I was just going around space in my head to find more artists that did this kind of art, original characters, and I had a few heads that I was interested in working with, and one of them was this guy, and this was the in-game event the next day I had to attend. This was for a friend. His name is 7 Sketches. This was like his 7-year art show, so some of his best artworks were featured here from the last 7 years of his career. And he used to be a top model. He's also a man of many talents, and I took so much advice from him, and he gives me such good vibes and motivates me, and he doesn't even know it, I bet. I really want to be cool like him. He's such a Chad. This place, Mori, is so awesome. So many cool artists from around Hawaii, and I wanted to be like them also. So I went to work, and you know what I had to do? I went back to the turtle theory. So I went back home and spent hours and hours and hours cutting up stencil after stencil to try and get some kind of attention. I already knew I could do art. I just needed some kind of exposure, and I wanted to get out. I've been feeling really claustrophobic lately. So much things are running through my mind, and at times like this is when I do my best art. I just sit down there and I think and I think and I think, and I'm like, you know what? What's gonna get me what I want? And it all just came back to these fucking turtles, I swear. Observe as I sit in my backyard for days on end just making stencils. Half of this stuff I didn't even use, and you know what? I even broke my wrist trying to do it all. Luckily I had Cass. Now Cass is a freaking legend, and we're gonna take it over to his view for a second. Don't mind the up and down screen. We're going, and I don't want to hold my phone. And Cass, uninstall this phone, please. Y'all know iPhone is rubber. In the first clips of my vid, I had done such a horrible job with the Graffbot character, and that was my first try ever. I wasn't ready with resources the last time I attempted the mission, and it showed. It was a failed mission I always wanted to do again, but I needed a player with more experience this time. Carry me and some of these supplies, because man, our weight was pretty high. And over a year later, I got to go back. We had 3 objectives to clear before we could take down this boss. One was just to get up there. As much as I wish fast travel was a thing on all parts of the map, the top missions aren't the easiest to get to. The second was to make sure none of the NPCs got aggroed. If they were, it would trigger Imperialists to spawn in the map, so please avoid, and keep that prayer up. The third was to film it and not die. We had like 6 hours to finish. By the time we got to the top, we had already spent like 2 hours trying to haul all that stuff up there, but this was Cass's video. I'm just gonna show you a little bit of my video since I am lazy. I just put my phone in one spot, but I loved how I had this Graffbot. I loved how much help I got on this. I love how skilled Cass is. Thank you, buddy. And to all the people who are flicking and doing all kinds of twerking videos and jumping around stuff, make it look like you're floating in the air. All you guys make these things so fun to do because we don't know what's happening once we leave this place. So all these nice updates you guys give us, all the kind words, it keeps us super motivated, and you know what? Thank you. This mission was deemed complete. I'm glad we did it. The XP boost that we gained from this actually stuck with us, and it's still continuing. Back in base, I was working on a new build, and since by this point in the project, I had run out of resources, I invested a lot into a secret project in the background, so I couldn't afford to do my normal routine, and one of them being that whenever me and Cass completed a mission, we went out and got some fish. A rare and expensive resource, very hard to obtain, but with some coin you could get it. I missed going out, having meals with my friends, and just doing stuff other than working all the time, but even as I record my voice, I still haven't had a chance to get out and relax. I would like to add unhealthy weight loss to the list of ailments that might affect you when you try to become an artist. Throughout all this, me and Cass have truly figured out why they call us starving artists, and man, we were starving. That's our fault though. We didn't read much user manuals when we first jumped into this stuff, and we were just trialing dungeons, lots of wasting resources without a plan, and we had one. Trust us. We were sick of starving, so I tried to make an auto-generated farm for some coin. We can afford more resources to do more projects, missions, and get food. My guild, we wanted to meet all of you. You folks, the viewers. Well, mainly the ones with cool usernames, not that number generated mumbo jumbo. The only bots that are allowed on my pages is me. Back to topic though. We are broke boys stuck in a shitty server. Me and the guild, we decided it was time to finally take on the final boss in this vid. And the main objective for any artist type is to actually make money somehow. Me and Cass had many ideas. Most of our murals are for the people and never want to overcharge or enter any other lanes. I solo mid. I don't like to jungle too much. Our resolution to all this is an art show. Worked hard in the background to ready things like websites and obtaining rare items, taking ideas from hundreds of friends on streams. I'll update more on that project through all the links in my bio, and please don't judge me. I know I'm trash, and if you have an opinion, buy some of my art and I'll change it. I'm gonna go ahead and add paralysis to the list of ailments because I was stuck in base for weeks. I didn't play any games, just stared at loading bars for hours. And as much as I wanted to paint 100 things in 100 days, I wasn't a level 100 character yet, and we were working on that. So I had a visit from the homie. So player Alex stopped by. She said I was moving way too slow and she offered some assistance. So we fired up the base, got her a few crafting tables made, and we put in some work this day. I had all kinds of canvases made, I had all kinds of ideas for my art show. It was all gonna work out great. I knew it already. Thank you, Alex, for stopping by and always putting some motivation in me. I really need to get a belt. Sheesh. I'm sorry if I'm being a little silent. She doesn't like to be interrupted. She's very particular. So Cass and I were still on some turtle shit. It was working though. It was really working. On this one, I only did one little turtle. I think it was enough because we did this massive mural over here. We sometimes adopt walls in areas that are pretty trashed, and the homeless like to hang out by them, but it's cool. It's whatever. It's not our wall. But this wall here, this one I helped build, and I would like to take maybe a quarter ownership into it, especially that plywood. But yeah, it was easy back in the day to afford resources, so we got a whole bunch of bricks together and stacked them and made little practice walls in friends' backyards. On this day, I had some of my friends actually contact me. Some of them missed me. Thank you. So they knew I wanted to get out and spray paint, and one of the things I had a passion for was to do episodes of artists. And over the years, I've met so many, and I wanted to try and feature them so that some of my people could meet some of the cool people that I met. But I didn't know much of my people at this time, so hopefully that fruitions into more meetings and events. Of all of my crazy ideas I scheme up constantly, this is one of the early day projects that I want to stick with, and I just don't have enough resources right now. Things aren't the same, and a lot of the walls are inaccessible, but for the most part we're making do with what we got, and if we had just a little bit more support, we think we could go farther than what we've had already. So this was episode 4, and I can't wait to see who's on episode 5, and I'm probably going to start featuring some of those drops in my YouTube channel here. So again, thank you for everyone who just subscribed earlier. And if you didn't, you're rubber. As much as I wanted to paint for 100 days and complete like 100 pieces or something, I wasn't a level 100 character on this account yet. I couldn't pull off as much moves as I thought, so this was my solution. I went through all my hard drives over time and found all of the best works I've done over my 15 years of my graph career, and anyone who's interested in helping us, we got some good deals for you. I got my hair did. You know, I gotta look good on these streams, and I was looking pretty gnarly. Luckily, I have family that watches my back as we watch Spirited Away. And as a noob, I had many difficulties trying to find the right program to, you know, make prints. And, you know, I'm just gonna say Walmart is absolute trash. Don't do that. Like, I spent so many hours on this computer, so many dumbass messages, and none of it worked. Plus, they're not meant for that. I found other companies, and you know, the price is a little bit more expensive, but I'm sure it's gonna be worth it on your end. Assume that every piece I did costed like 400 bucks, and it took a while to create, and they're super rare. Can't find them anywhere. Oh, that's right. It was my dad's birthday on this day. I picked up a dobosh cake and there was no art done. Happy birthday, Papa. He actually gave me a present, and it was in the form of work, of course. On this project, my dad's friends decided they wanted to try and showcase an art show of their own, so they built a whole bunch of gates, and I had to spray this one for make it look more realistic. I kind of just want to give you guys a sample of what I go through sometimes on these projects, and I do a little tutorial for some of these clients so that I don't have to do this all the time. And so if anyone needs like any advice, I'm always down to give it. You just gotta pay me nowadays, because man, look at how much time and work and tape. Oh, it's miserable. Enjoy the chaos. I do.
Take away stress, we ganja copping, blow it all out, it's all forgotten. Keep on walking, ain't no stopping in this dirty, filthy, rotten, nasty little world we call a home. They get blickies popping, ain't no option for my partners, so they resort to scams and robbing. Take away stress, we ganja copping, blow it all out, it's all forgotten. Walking with my back against the sun. I've been running all my life, that's way before my life begun. Since my birth and seconds on earth, I've been the first one to confront all of these cycles that get recycled, making it stifle while I stunt. Roll me a blunt so I'll forget it, but the minute details look so vivid. Went through a lot of shit in the last year.
So if I'm not saying anything, I just have no words. At this point in the video, I was so tired, and I don't even know what was on my mind. I was working so many hours, and it was shocking that things like this made me more money than my art was. So, you know, I had to make some changes. So I love the turnout on this. I even put some nicks in there to make it look more realistic, but for the most part it was worth it, because the next day I had an in-game event, and I used that money to get me some sushi finally. It was Kevtar's birthday, so we celebrated, and happy birthday, Kevin. Yay. So the time finally came where I had to take all of my memories and get rid of them, because I wanted my prints to be even more rare, and I figured I was ready to cash in everything I've done my whole life to have one solid chance as a good start of an art company. And I hope you guys join me, because I was simply just going insane. I need help, and yeah, I had to take some time off from the art, and me and Cass had to look at this spell. Boom, I got a peacock now. Me and the guild, we love animals, and one of our most favorite trips is to go to the zoo. Like, look at these little chickens, how they waddle. Kevin had 2 BBs, he now has 1. Rest in peace to Big Red. We're gonna miss you, buddy. Me and Cass were attempting to do TikTok dances in front of animals, but we ended up not doing so because they were tired, and I'm sure they were done being exposed like this. Later on, we'll revisit them and figure out a way to free the world and take back their planet. Some of those plans won't be able to be done unless I have help from solid players like yourselves, and I'm just gonna say this now. Thank you for buying any of my art. And if you refer to this video from any of the homies, tell those homies that Kiddo owes you some sushi if you bought something. That out of the way, I ended up doing one last project. And this one, even though it was kinda tiny, I mean kinda, it was a 10-footer. This one made the most money out of all my projects, and thank you Pop Pop for all the referrals. I won't let any of this XP gains go to waste. I'm sure all of your old timer friends want to help support me, and I appreciate all of them who have. Thank you everyone. Moving forward, I ended up doing a lot of work around the base. I started up old starter bases from prior saves, painted the view of my backyard. The client wanted a House of the Rising Sun on there. At this time, a lot of my prints started coming in, and we're talking a lot. I had over 100 of them available, and I'll have my site ready by the time you guys see this video. So hopefully I see some of you on the other side of this project, because we're gonna need all of your support to get to the resolution of my project. I left off at a climax. I'm sorry, it's just the way I am. I don't want to show you guys everything yet. I couldn't show you folks a lot of it. Just didn't have as much resources as I thought I would have to complete something like this. And look at these prints. I've never done something like this before. I have totally been missing out. Other things I've been missing out on is helping my community. So I visit one of my main shrines, and in this part of the map, we help a lot of zombies and creepers convert into NPCs and eventually players again. I'm always in areas where there's new players, and these new players need guidance. So as a OG player, it's always cool for some of us old timers to stop our gameplay for a little bit and carry some of these noobs. Some of our experiences will lead to barbecues, and we don't have that much resources to give, but when we can, we do. I love to inspire the next generation of new players, so we always try to provide games for them. And the last project I had on my thing, I was trying to teach them how to also give back to the community like me. Because if I can do as much damage as I can in 100 days, then imagine if I created just 2 more of me. Always with that side project in mind. I entered a part of the map that was training grounds for new players, and I had to try and get some of them to join the art game. Some of you who have joined my streams know that I've been planning many games. I'll drop more of that info in my next video. They're good, that's why. All I do is plan and scheme these things, and it's just for fun, so don't worry. And I'm always prepared, so just know your kids are safe and having a fun time. Me and these kids, we wanted to leave you one last message. This was the final day to my 100-day project, and we had such a blast doing it. To all the kids who helped put input into this project, everyone who laid their hands on it, like look at that L. Like so many people put their hands on there. Special shout out to all the teachers. They don't get much XP doing this stuff, but taking the time to lead new players to be better players and guild masters eventually. Everyone sharing knowledge for the better good. Thank you all. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. This is all for the greater good, and right now, we need more good in this world. I told you, a kid could do it. So everyone who made it this far, much aloha. Thank you for everything. Moving forward, it's nice to meet you everyone. My name is Graffbot. Join my party and let's level up.
They ain't gonna like you. They ain't gonna like me. I be getting to the money. Everybody mad. I think I'm getting too much money. Everybody mad. Same old nigga from the block. Same old nigga with the pot. The same old nigga from the trap. Everybody hated on him, then he bounced right back. I just spent a whole lot of time overseas. Doubling my money cause you know I won't cheat. in my hometown playing with the keys when they fell off the boat. Yeah, I'm talking about police. I know it's a whole lot of niggas that was hating. I know it's a whole lot of bitches that was taken. So I shut the niggas up, bitches feeling us. I was due that I was sick, so I had to stay patient. Taking over summer, nigga, tell me what's the bid? Heard you still cuffing, nigga, tell me what it is. You ain't paying no bills, buying no bags, buying no heels. Goddamn, let a bitch live. All I see is 20s, 50s, 100s. If it ain't $250,000, fuck the whip. I don't want it, but to make these niggas sick to the stomach. I be getting to the money. Everybody mad. I think I'm getting too much money. Everybody mad. Same old nigga from the block. Same old nigga with the pot. The same old nigga from the trap. Everybody hated on her, then he bounced right back. She was second stingy, now she wanna give it up. Fast like OT, I'ma live it up. Now my ex-girl tryna make me jealous, cause she got a new nigga. She don't know that I don't give a fuck. I got me a dick, but I'm still in the street. Heard a couple niggas talking like they got beef. They forgot sesame, teriyaki sauce with the rice on the side. Sweaty pussy nigga sweet. I got all this money on my motherfucking mind. Diamonds in my dial, I can't even see the time. All my niggas pull up, please don't let me bang the line. And they super extra when them niggas off the line. All I know is bloods, Crips, Pyros. I'm a west side nigga, don't get it fucked up. Niggas sick cause they thought I locked up. I be getting to the money. Everybody mad. I think I'm getting too much money. Everybody mad. Same old nigga from the block. Same old nigga with the pot. The same old nigga from the trap. Everybody hated on her, then he bounced right back. I be getting to the money. Everybody mad. I think I'm getting too much money. Everybody mad. Same old nigga from the block. Same old nigga with the pot. The same old nigga from the trap. Everybody hated on her, then he bounced right back.
Still checking if the place still cold. Moving in a way, no place, no snow. Straight chilling with my niggas and shiver. Thinking about South Lake, thoughts on the river. Move back, nigga, move shots. I claim this city and I take your spot. Stay thinking about a white one, thinking about a bright sun. Did I change straight from the dark shit? No tape when I'm playing with the black gun. Nigga, you ain't never been a god since the last run. No stairs in the place that's shown. A lot of niggas tell me that I never really own. Track to the place, back, nigga. Tell me that I'm like a nigga, but my flow sicker. Calling. I'm calling. Shit. Yeah. Dressed like a motherfucking god when I reach the spot. Niggas always tell me that I made it from the empty slot. Change ways, niggas, no truth, no plot. Fuck a wet brand, no top, no spot. Chase all day to the thoughts in the back. With my niggas fuck bitches in the back of the cab. Claim riches, but a nigga been whack. Never talk, boy, with your fake ass stack. Cash, talking about cash, nigga. When I throw that shit, catch, nigga. Last time when I talk to a man, well shit. Run quick, slash for the neck, nigga. No, I gotta make it out the cold for the best show. Please don't try, never show my back. Bitch, don't cry, just move that